Hello. Let's see who comes in late, if anyone. Who's up late? Who's up too damn late? Is there anybody out there? What's up, Ian? What's up, Mark? How's it going, y'all? Yeah. Just kicking back. I'm not doing anything. There's nothing special is happening. It's been all right. It's been all right. This is, I don't even know if I'll keep this on the channel or what after I'm done. I just wanted to, I don't know, just talk to people, just have some fun tonight. Had a stressful bookended week, man. Started off with jury duty. Wait, what? Let me see. What is today's date? Yep, that tracks. Started off with jury duty and ended finding out we need $2,000 worth of work done on the car. Nothing for running, just for the AC. So, you know. But here in Florida, that's like life support, right? That's like, you know, you need it. How about yourself? One thing I will do, regardless of whether or not I keep this, is I'm going to do, I am going to mention our sponsors, Hellabard Games, because they're awesome. So you should check them out. Yeah, Heater Core. Yeah, same. Heater. I hate to say this because this is going to sound dismissive. Oh, Pauper Knight just put a new engine in his car. Hence the user ID, I guess, right? This is going to sound dismissive, and I don't mean it to. But at least in older cars, a heater core is a little less onerous because you're not dealing with high pressure gas. You're just talking about fluid recirculated from the engine. Ah, that sucks. 2K. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. So the year model Civic that we have, I was over the moon when I went Googling looking for what's going on with it, because the condenser and the compressor, which are two of the three major components in the car for air conditioning, the not the NTSB, maybe it is the NTSB, but basically they were like improperly made on those model cars. And so the NSTHA, whatever, put a hammerlock on Honda America and said, you got to extend the warranty out for these for 10 years. And the car is 6 years old. So we were like, yeah, we're well in that. It's got to be one of those two things, right? So we take it down there. No, it's there's the compressor, the condenser, and there's a third part, the evaporator, I think. I can't remember, but that's the part that's leaking. The parts aren't horribly expensive. They're a few $100s, but that engine bay is like, it's like the inside of an F-35, man. And I grew up as a wrench turner. So, you know, this is not like I can knock this out on a Saturday. No. 9 hours of labor. And I looked up the PDFs of how to get to the AC components online. You basically got to disassemble the front of the car. Its fenders off. Okay. Yeah, I mean, hey, keep that Ranger going, Mark, and it's going to go forever. Odd Scimitar, it's way past your dead time. Your dead time, your bedtime. Well, where are you, Ian? 10 p.m. So you're out on the West Coast. We have a Saturn View that we have driven the wheels off of, but it now needs some TLC. It is in need of a new timing belt and water pump. Those need to get done. The water pump is making unhappy sounds. And again, I mean, it's a V engine. That should be something that I'm just not afraid of working on. It's mounted sideways. And again, you have to lift the motor up. It's non-trivial. It's non-trivial to fix that. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to it, but it is what it is because uh we found some funding. you know, we found some funding. Yeah, Kabuki, if your timing belt goes, you have seconds, and I'm talking single digit seconds, and a low number of those to stop the car and shut it off in one motion when your timing belt goes. Otherwise, that's all she wrote. So, but anyway, it is what it is. Damn, we were up to 10. Now we're down to 5. Ouch. Well, I don't really. I mean, it is what it is. I'm just shooting the shit. Hey, so anybody who's of all 5 or 6 or 10 or whatever of you it is here, how many of you guys are going to do the GUAC, the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention that we got set up at Warhorn? So tell me that. But I've told you, hey man, hey Mark, I wasn't out here fishing for supers. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. It's this, Ian. You're kidding with me, aren't you? Anyway, there's the link just in case you guys like. I've got a night crew that never comes here. I suppose I could do all the fun public ID stuff. I haven't really done this properly. Anyway, so it's a virtual convention. It's all stuff that's run on Discord, and it's April 24th to the 28th, so it's like 5 days long. It's free. I'm gonna have giveaways, prize drawings. We got an artist alley where we're gonna have Richard Witters, who we interviewed on the show, and Tracy Lesh, who's a friend of the show, and I've had him on way too long. Tracy's gonna be on the show. Tracy's gonna be on that. We're gonna have a Discord channel where it's gonna be Tracy and I talking, and folks can come in and listen to us talk. Up next to the dragons, that tiny AD. Oh, okay. So this is Bards of Greyhawk. They do the music. When I do the opening credits here, hang on, I'm gonna pop the opening credits for a quick second. So that is a little tiny piece of Summer Mountains, which is the track that they recorded for me. And yeah, they're a band. They're a first edition AD&D themed band, and they do. This is how their CD releases look. They look like classic modules. Anyway, to go back to the GUAC, you should definitely check it out. It is free. We're gonna have merch. Dungeon Minister's doing merch for me again this year, but on request, I'm doing a how to play first edition AD&D session, or maybe a couple of sessions if it goes long, where we'll go from character creation to adventure, XP handing out, and so on and etc. And I may run like we make those characters, we do a short adventure there, and then later, if you want to come back, we'll do another adventure with those. How rigid am I to rules by the fairly? There's a few things that I bent from time to time. So, like, I don't super get into issues of stuff like psionics, and I don't do weapons versus armor type. I tried once. It was either too ridiculously OP, too ridiculously underpowering, and in either case, it slowed the game down so much. Okay, I attack the ogre. Okay, well, the ogre's armor class 4. Cool. My Bardiche gains +1 versus armor class 4. Okay, no, it's not armor class 4 because of he's wearing armor. It's armor class 4 because he's just got a thick hide, But I have tried it. Believe it or not, I do use the unarmed combat rules. They're not hard. They're not hard to do. They're just not that difficult. They're way easier than people make them out to be. Do you guys want me to like run through it real quick? And unarmed combat's not that much of a bugbear. It's not. I mean, in the case of strength and dexterity, you literally make it up on the spot. You roll 3d6 for each and assign it to the monster. Or you can just do average and say it's 9, If you're talking about a kobold, maybe they've got a strength of like 5, but then they could be pretty tough. You might say it's 9. But this is like super simple compared to how people make it out. People look at this and they're like, oh my God. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's as easy as rolling up a character or anything like that. I'm just saying it's not as onerous as you might think. It's my wife's cat. She wants up on my lap. Is your tail there? She's purring even though she doesn't like that. Okay. I mean, it's, and this clearly, I guess I should add this. This clearly falls under stuff my Dungeon Master Guide said, or stuff Gary said. Okay. So let's go through this one step at a time. Non-lethal and weaponless combat procedures. It is not uncommon for players to be weaponless at some point in the game, or for better players to wish to attack an opponent barehanded in order to most effectively neutralize the opponent's potential. Whether to subdue or slay them when neutralized is another matter. 3 basic attack modes are recommended: pummel, grapple, and overbear. Variable applicable to all pummeling, grappling, and overbearing attack. The attacker takes the number of the column he or she normally uses for weapon attacks, 1 being that for the lowest levels, 2 being that for the next group of levels, and so on. To this number, he or she adds the score of a secretly rolled D6. The defender does the same, but it's a D4. The attacker may use this variable for a bonus to his or her base chance to pummel, grapple, or overbear, or a bonus to the score rolled for a successful pummeling, grappling, or overbearing attack. The defender may use it as a penalty to the attacker's base chance to pummel, grapple, or overbear, or a penalty subtraction to the attacker's pummeling, grappling, or overbearing attack, which has succeeded. What the hell are you doing up this late, Dungeon Minister? You have church tomorrow. So basically you take a D6, you roll it, and you add it to the number of the column you normally use for weapon attacks. And then the defender does that, but with a D4. And you don't change it round to round. All right. So what they mean is, if we look at the combat matrices, so let's say you're a 5th level fighter, you'd roll a D6. I hate that for you, Dungeon Minister. So we'd roll a D6. So yeah, that's a 6. So you're a 5th level fighter. So that would be 11. You would add that to your 2 hit. So you add 11 to your 2 hit. Your base score to hit on percentile dice, because this isn't just a D20 thing. We're now over on percentile dice because it's a little more granular. So the base score to hit. Oh, we have initiative also. There's initiative. But your base score to hit is determined by your opponent's AC value with the following modifiers: attacker's dexterity per point. So let's say our opponent is armor class 3. That's 30%. But we are dex 18. All right. So we've got an 11 plus 18 is 29. Our strength isn't great. It's a 12. We get no bonus for that. So we're at 29. Attacker's armor class per point with negative being treated as positive. So we're armor class 6, let's say. So we add 6 to that. Our opponent is not slowed, nor stunned, nor prone. Their base movement isn't over 12, and they're not hasted. So 29 plus 6 is 35. So we roll percentile dice. Who pinging me? Somebody pinging me. Okay. So we roll percentile dice, and the score is modified as shown below. So we've got a pretty good chance. Like our base chance, at the very least, we're going to get a glancing blow and put them off balance. So let's go over here. Let's roll our percentile dice. What do we say? We're at 30 something, 36, I think. 82. Now we modify it. Again, we don't have a great strength. We're not using a wooden butt or a mailed fist or a pommel. Our defender has, well, let's just say that we said they're in armor class 5. So that puts us at minus 20. Let's say they've got a magic ring. So that's another minus 30. So now it's coming down. So we get something in the 41 to 60. We do 4 points of damage plus our strength bonus, which we don't have. Percentile. How am I supposed to say it? Percentile. Or was I saying percentile? Anyway, so that's it. I just did 4 points of damage plus my strength bonus. Now, again, our foe rolls that D4 and adds that to theirs. So maybe it goes down some. So, you know, he rolled a 1. Let's say they're a 2-hit die monster that knocks off 3. Worst case scenario, it pushes me down to 2 plus. Percentile. Percentile. I don't know. I switch it up all the time. So there you go. That's pummeling. Isn't that easy? Isn't the was that hard? I mean, once you figured all that, you don't change the D6 roll. It just goes back and forth, and your foe might not be trying to punch you. He might say, bugger this for a game of soldiers, and draw his sword and be trying to stab him while you're doing fisticuffs. Mark Markson, hello. It is not kabuki. It is not. It's not that bad. So there you go. There's pummeling. Grappling. Base score to grapple, multiply attacker's armor class by 10, ignoring magical devices, but adding 1 for each +1 of magical armor to find a percentage chance from 0 to 100. So our armor class is what I say it was well, let's say in this example, it's 3. No magic armor. So that's 30. We have a dexterity of 18. That's 48. Defender's armor protection is let's see. Let's say it's leather or padded. That's 58. Once it is determined that a grappling attack succeeds, okay. So our target is 58. So we roll to see if the grapple is successful. So we roll percentile dice. 63. It's not successful. Let's roll again. A 10. All right. No special adjustments. So our adjusted dice score with all that stuff, we said it was 58. We rolled a 10. Bear hug trip, 3+ strength bonus. Hey, Jeremy, thank you. You think your ex-wife rolled well on pummeling? I'm in the kitchen with you now. I do the dishes late at night too. Thank you for the super, Jeremy. I really appreciate that, man. I do. There's pummeling and grappling. What about either of those was hard, guys? You just need to have these pages handy. And then you've got overbear. Aims at quickly taking the opponent to a prone position. I think that's more what happened, Jeremy. I think that was overbear. Should men get married? Yeah, if you find somebody you love and you want to spend the rest of your life with them, yeah, of course. Why not? I mean, I've been married for 25 years. Have we had our ups and downs? You bet your ass. But yeah, it was 25 years, just 4 days ago. We celebrated our silver anniversary. Our marriage is now exactly half as old as Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, I think if you find somebody you care about, absolutely. Is being under a bear? Yes, that is what happens in Baldur's Gate 3. You have sexual relations with a bear. But anyway, base score to hit is the same as a grappling attack. And then you modify it. Congratulations, Pauper Knight. You're coming up in a rearview mirror there. I hope we stay ahead of you. You know. But that's it, guys. It's that simple. It's just that easy. And y'all thought it was just going to be get on this stream and I'd just be talking about nothing. I just taught you guys how to pummel, grapple, and overbear in AD&D. And I bet most of you guys who've tried playing AD&D, I'm sorry to hear that, Mark. I really am. But I would bet most of you guys who've played AD&D and have heard, oh shit, AD&D is very, very like the unarmed combat rules, man, they're insane. Don't use those. You just bought it by word of mouth and never actually looked at how simple it is. I would be willing to bet. Need some more people to hop on the stream. It's at 13. That's an unlucky number. So, yeah, I mean, please tell me what was hard about that. And by the way, that's on pages 72 and 73. I will promise you this. Unarmed combat in AD&D is easier than any combat in Rollmaster or MERP. And that's a hill I'll die on. In Rollmaster and MERP were fudged up. Now, I'll say this. No, when I said 13 was an unlucky number, I didn't mean when he had to leave. Do I have any house rules? Yes. I allow dwarven clerics. I do allow dwarven clerics. I allow the dwarven fighter cleric combo to be an adventuring class. It's because I think it's, you know, the idea of a dwarf kitted out like an Eastern Orthodox priest is just amusing to me, which is not to poke fun at Eastern Orthodoxy. No, dwarf. Besides, half orcs can be clerics already. There's no restriction on half orcs being clerics. What's happening, Mark Corey? Welcome. We have the Seattle, the Washington State bunch representing tonight. We got Mark Corey is from over there. We've got Ian Wise, and I'm not sure if he's still here, but Jeremy was in the house for a while, and they're all from Washington State. I've got a strong Washington State following, and that's fine. But anyway, it's about to fall out, and that did fall out. I touched it, and it fell out, just as the ancient scrolls had predicted. I'm going to put this down here. There. Bot hell. See, that's where all the bots, when people talk about, no, you know, I'm followed by a lot of people, but it's bots. They're all programmed in Washington. Northern Indiana, nice. The heartland of America, really. You're not that far from GaryCon, Mark. I'm surprised you're not over there. Snoqualmie Pass. Yeah, we gotta, you know what? Let's load up and let's go crash Jeremy's place. He's got a ski chalet up there. We'll sit around the hot tub. Hey, Jeremy, you don't have to do this. You absolutely don't have to do this. If you don't want to, it's perfectly okay. But do you want to hop on the stream and tell them about your dog and your Airbnb guests and what happened when they left their door open? I will send you the link if you want to do that. I will message it to you on what do you call it, on Discord. You don't have to. I'm not like putting you on the spot saying everybody, Jeremy's going to come in. Let me do an invite. You can just be voice only, if you want, even. So, so let me find you here. Hang on, I gotta find you on Discord. I'm gonna private message you on Discord. Copy and there. I sent you the link. Take care, Dungeon Minister. Remember, sip the sacramental wine. Don't chug. So we'll see if Jeremy wants to come on, because this is an awesome story. It has nothing to do with D&D. Jeremy used to play. He used to play in the Monday night AD&D game for a long time. He said, "Oh, my wife and I have been invited to be to be in a friend's 5e game in a few weeks, but I can sit in your AD&D game for until that happens. That's like 3 or 4 weeks away. 5 years later. Jeremy's finally retired. There he is. Okay. All right. I got to put my cans on. What's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Boy, this has got real high tech.
Yeah.
Here's the dog.
Yeah. What a cutie, man. How old's he now?
He just turned 3.
Good Lord.
And 200 pounds.
Yeah, that dog weighs is creeping up on me weight wise.
I try to stay ahead of him.
He is a big feller.
Yeah.
So tell the story about the Airbnb guest, because that is like the best, dude. Nice glasses, by the way.
Oh. Yeah, I run a Airbnb up here at the ski resort right next door. And Schnook, that's the dog's name. He came over, and he can unlock any door, open any door. He came over and jumped in bed with my Airbnb guest, who thought it was a bear. They freaked out. They were very kind about it the next morning, but 200-pound Saint Bernard jumped in bed with them.
Oh my God. Dude, I would, like, the freaking out would last for a while, and then I'd laugh it off, and I'd be like, well, I mean, do I have to pay extra for the bed warmer? But I guess some people are not fully, into that, but that's cool.
Yeah. So we get 44 feet average snow a year of accumulation. And it's just north of here in Mount Baker is the world record with 1,100 inches of snow. So
wow,
it's a very snowy area.
Yeah, it's like the pictures you've shown. It's like it's up past like the first story of your house sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's higher than the first story. Yeah.
Am I cracking up, or did you send me a picture of him on the house? Did he get up on your house, or am I thinking of somebody?
I'm not sure yet. It might be somebody else.
Yeah. Okay. All right, but still, he's a sweetheart. Have you got the cask of brandy for him to carry?
I do.
around?
Yeah, and I'm kind of impressed that it's brandy, because some people say whiskey, or some people say beer. Like few people know it's brandy.
No. That's like a classic thing for the snow rescue dogs. They take the brandy to the people caught in an avalanche or something like that.
Yeah.
Which give him a little bracer there. Mark says Snoqualmie is the same elevation as Tucson. I have never been to either place, so.
Well, there's Snoqualmie and then Snoqualmie Pass. Those are a little different, but they're both not very high up. Yeah.
Okay.
They're not like Colorado.
Right. I have been to Washington State though once 30 years ago this fall. It'll be I was up there in 94. You remember Jeff from the game, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Jeff invited me up, and I spent, I think, like 3 weeks up there. And I went in like the second week of October, third week of October. And he was like, yeah, we're going to drive all over. I'm going to show you all this cool stuff. And the day we were set to drive to St. Helens, we were in this rinky-dink little rental car. They got an early snow. So we were trucking up the side of St. Helens, and it just a complete whiteout. And I remember thinking, because, when you're up there, it's like, here's the side of the mountain, and there's the valley, right? A Forest Service truck passed us.
Oh,
he's got like the warning lights on and everything, and he just rolls down past us down the mountain. And I couldn't help, at the time I was thinking, like, That's the guy that's going to find our bodies, like down at the bottom of this ravine over here on our left. That's the guy right there. But obviously, I made it out okay. So, but it is beautiful country up there, man.
Yeah,
I really got to hand it to you.
Ian asked in chat if I've been to Bremerton, and Ian, I'm yes, but only to get on the ferry, which probably makes a lot of sense to Ian. There's a ferry that takes you over to the islands there. And then I also noticed that Kabuki Kid asked, "Is the dog related to an owlbear?" So you probably understand that, Bill, like what the owlbear and the.
Yes, and that is why Jeremy is why we had that kick-ass close credit song, because Jeremy introduced me to Bob. And Bob composed the Owlbear song and let me have it, basically. So I use it for the end credits. So for you guys who love Owlbear, it was Jeremy that made that possible. So big ups to you, my friend.
Yeah.
But anyway,
cool. Well, good to catch up and join the stream.
Hell yeah. Are you coming to the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, Jeremy?
You have to. I'm a little out of touch. So tell us where is it? When is that?
Well, the link's down there on the screen. The Great Underground Online Gaming Convention. It is a virtual tabletop convention. It's all happening on Discord, April 24th to April 28th. We're doing all day gaming events on Discord. You can sign up on the Warhorn link as a GM or as a player. We're having an artist panel. I'm having Tracy, Tracy, of course, and another buddy of mine who is also an artist at TSR, Richard Witters, is going to be there. They're going to be showing off their art, talking about their history of working there. We're probably going to do a Q&A panel with Matt Finch.
Nice.
Also on Discord. So yeah, it's basically, I just figured it would be a fun thing to do. It's free, but we do have merch. You can get merch. You can get a gorgeous pint glass. I know that's not showing up, but it's the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention. This is the one from the first one in 2022, but you can still buy those. All the year's merch. Dungeon Minister will have that up for sale, and it'll be a good time. And there, you could sneak off and play D&D with us again.
That would be fun. I one of my D&D goals is to actually DM a game at some point. So never done that.
You've got the chops, brother. You can and should.
Yeah,
you can and should.
Yeah. Well, shout Atreyu, because the never-ending. What is that thing called in that story?
Was it Bastion? Was his name?
Yeah,
or
he's
something?
right there on the ground. But good to connect, and I'll
man. Thanks for coming and telling the story. Peace, Jeremy.
All right, see ya.
Jeremy Rule. A luck dragon. Yeah. Yep. Good times. Falcor. I don't know. I've watched like 10 minutes of Neverending Story. Everybody posts up the memes about, I so traumatized when the horse drowned in the swamp. It didn't I think I specifically saw that scene and was just like, it's a stunt horse and that's chocolate syrup. So it didn't mess with me as much as it did apparently some slightly younger Gen Xers. No, what traumatized me media wise was Salem's Lot. Every kid who talked about their parents were going to let them watch Salem's Lot was a badass. And then Danny Glick showed up and started clawing on that window. Yeah. Yeah, everybody is like, I love horror. The kids reading the EC comics and talking about how their mom and dad took them to see Jaws and crap like that. every one of us was a badass until Danny Glick. Reek, 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 reek. Yeah, Amityville Horror too. Amityville Horror was one. But I think the Amityville Horror one was environmental because it takes place in an old house. We lived in an old house. See, to me, Jaws was more of a suspenseful adventure film. Like when they're out hunting the shark, and John Williams, like the fanfare kind of stuff is playing as they're chasing him down. That really is the essence of the movie to me. I mean, when Robbie Kintner or whatever his name is gets eaten, that was pretty terrible. And the actress, I can't remember her name. She's actually a scream queen. She ended up doing a number of other horror movies and dying in various fun ways. So she was in the water off Martha's Vineyards, and they did a day for night shot. They did not have her in the water at night. It was a heavy filter over the camera, day for night shot. And what it was is off screen on either side, they had boats with power winches. And she was being jerked back and forth. The first time they jerked her, it snapped her body so hard to one side that her shoulders dislocated. When she is screaming her head off and yelling it hurts, that was because she was actually in severe pain. Yeah. Diversity in Dragons. Yeah. Now, if you think I'm going to let you perform some kind of autopsy on that shark and have that little Kintner boy spill out over the dock, you've got another thing coming. That is coming up in May. I say it's coming up in May. I make it a point at the beginning of every summer to watch Jaws on is it Memorial Day that you start the summer with? Yeah, you start with Memorial Day and end with Labor Day. So yeah, Memorial Day weekend, I make it a point to watch Jaws. Yeah. There was one concept that I like. Let's face it, if you make a movie about a shark, you are immediately like, well, it's just like Jaws, It doesn't matter. If sharks are the bad guys, you're making a movie and people are going to go Jaws. But there was one concept that that as a book was fascinating to me. And it was all, I think it was also by Richard Bentley, but I could be wrong. I think I probably am wrong. But it's called The Meg. It's about scientists discover a Carcharodon megalodon, which that just, the very idea that one of them might still exist horrifies me. The chance is microscopic that Carcharodon megalodon still exists. But I mean, it's one thing, great white shark, very scary. Jaws, very scary. Any sharks, very scary. A shark the size of a Los Angeles class attack submarine. Yeah, that is legitimately horrifying. But hey, Michael Mertig. But I'm gonna tell you for free, the films with Jason Statham, I tried to watch a few scenes of those to see if they were worth watching. They're not. I should tell my wife he's in them, though. She might sit and watch them. She loves Jason Statham. She has since Lock, Stock, and Snatch. But anyway, like to the point that my my sunless sea, my underground ocean at the bottom of my mega dungeon, Castle Greyhawk, has a megalodon in it, a Carcadon megalodon in its uttermost depths, which is wrong, by the way. It's scientifically wrong, but it's D&D, and everything about D&D is scientifically wrong. Carcadon megalodon were very, very shallow, very warm water feeders, which is why you find why their teeth and fossils are so easily found. They weren't out in the uttermost crushing depths of the ocean. They were warm water fish. Isn't there a huge shark in Ghost Tower of Indra? I don't know, and now I want to know. I got Alan Hammock's phone number. I should call Alan up right now because he's not doing anything, and he's certainly not exhausted from running Founders and Legends game in Lake Geneva. Let's see. All right. Ghost Tower of Inverness. Friggin' Adobe Acrobat's trying to tell me to reboot. I don't know where it could be. I mean, I suppose on the water level. We're going to look at it right now. Let's see. Present. Share screen again. See, this is the kind of content you guys can get from a guy like me. I'll just start streaming at 1 o'clock in the morning and start talking about AD&D. And you're all here. That's even better. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Woo! Oh, no, I didn't grab it. Woo! Let me find it. It's here somewhere. Or maybe it's past those maps. It must be past those maps. Ghost Tower. Fire level. Creatures. Reverse gravy. The water level. Okay. Yes, I said reverse gravy. It was a joke. So let's see. The water level. So characters can drown. Let's see. Underwater combat. The Great Fish. No. Okay. So this is a Dinichthys. This is a Dinichthys. 25-foot long prehistoric fish, cannot swim comfortably over the coral reef and will not enter it. The Ixodichil knows this and will attack a weakened party if it flees to the safety of the coral. The Dinichthys is no friend of the Ixodichil and will attack one should an Ixodichil be forced into the clear area. So there you go. You know what? Let's see what that looks like. We had Steve Marsh on the show once upon a time, and he told us how to pronounce it, and that was lovely. And I want to have him back. I want to have Steve Marsh back on the show. So let's see. Dinichthys. And let's see what they look like. All right, present, share screen, window, dirt. And there's some nightmare fuel for you guys. And you might say, okay, well, that doesn't, that's not so bad. That's like steelhead trout. kind of ugly / scary. According to this, it is let's see. Yeah, 9 feet long. 9 feet long. So that was bad news. So you can get one in Ghost Tower of Inverness. So there you go. I think other than How to Wreck an Extremely High Level Party, the module that is Isle of the Ape, I think that's it for I think that's it for dinosaurs in D&D modules. No, it's not. There's Dwellers in the Forbidden City and Isle of Dread. So there you go. Three places where dinosaurs pop up. What's happening, Grimlore? Dang, you missed that thing? You missed what thing, Mark? Barracuda. It's funny. There's a woman, she is a shark preservationist, and she regularly, like, the place where she goes, which is kind of a shark hangout, the sharks recognize her, and injured ones come to her for comfort. It's adorable. Like, she'll get like little bull shark pups and get, like, she wears chainmail. She wears like a shark suit, but she'll get hooks out of their mouths and stuff like that. It's quite charming. The Illusion in A3. A3 is Secret of the Snow. It's Assault on the Area of the Slave Lords, and I don't think there's a. I know what you're talking. I was thinking sharks. I mean, it's an illusion. So, I mean, if the party disbelieves it, maybe it does. I don't know. But that's well, so that's a maybe. That's a border case. I have not. It's been a long time since I've looked at that. Would I swim with the sharks? Would I go in a shark cage? Maybe. Hey, Uncle Brat! Wow, thank you for that awesome super. Uncle Brat up late like me. God bless you. Thank you so much for that super. I knew I should I should pop on tonight and say hi to you guys. I really appreciate that, man. I absolutely do. So yeah, like I said, the Illusion in A3. Would I do the shark cage? I don't know. I just don't know that I would do that. Are there any birding Advanced Dungeons and Dragons questions you'd like, Uncle Brat? Because that was really awesome. It was game night last night for Johnny D. Johnny D. What'd you play? What'd you guys play, Johnny? Are you talking about game night here last night? Because we did Gamma World. and the party squared off against at least 70 Johnny Depp animatronics in Disney World. Why is the rum gone? Am I a Dune fan, and did I see the newest movies? In reverse order, no. And conditionally, yes. I enjoyed the book Dune. I just wish Herbert hadn't written sequels to it. I honestly, I didn't see. I did not see any particular amount of entertainment. I read Dune Messiah and Children of Dune, and then I stopped because I was just like, you are continually making the awesomeness that was Dune worse. I love the 1984 film. I thoroughly enjoy. Yes, Dice Tales. That is a very apt comparison. Like Dahlgren levels of weird. Grimlore ran Shadow Dark. That's great, Grimlore. That sounds amazing. And Winter Wolf, that may be the case. I just kind of wish he could have stopped. Or if he was forced to, that he could have written stuff that was equally as good. At Bill Gamma World, any thoughts on Throwing Games module Last Vestige of Hope? Never played it. Never played it. Uncle Brat, you and I are in agreement. It should have been a single novel. Now, I will say something fun that I've read, and I've talked about this before, is Ellis Werner's Dune, Doon. It is the National Lampoon parody. Like, if you've read Board of the Rings, then Dune is the parody of Dune. And I do recommend that you read the parody. It might be pricey right now because the movies are out, but if you wait, it'll cheapen up again. Yeah, but only read the first one. By the time we get to, like, you know, him explaining how golas are made, I'm just like, and his sequels, or rather his kids' sequels are terrible. I'm sorry. They're just completely forgettable. Utterly and completely forgettable. I have heard of Sword World, but I never dug into it. Yeah, I mean, it was clear that the gang over at National Lampoon with Dune and Board of the Rings, that they loved the source material. A third movie to cover Messiah and then be done. Yeah. Well, what's my opinion of the Osric Player's Guide? I've never seen it. I've never sat down and looked through it. I mean, I prefer High Gygaxian, I guess. I mean, if you are absolutely dead set against piracy and giving Wizards of the Coast any of your money, and or you really don't like high Gygaxian, then I suppose Osric and the Osric Player's Guide are definitely routes you can go. I had a copy of that for a little while. My father-in-law gave me a huge raft of his Avalon Hill games, and I took Dune. They actually have the super duper ultra incredibly hard to find dueling game that Avalon Hill put out, Shield dueling game for Dune. And it had these little pop-up boxes that you had to assemble to like plot your moves behind. They have both of those. And he gave me that, and I was like, oh, this is going to be so awesome. And then a couple of years later, it was like, oh, Bill, do you still have that copy of Dune? And I was like, I think that I do. Yes. Can I get that back? What was I going to do? Say no? So yeah, I give it back. Now I feel you, Wizards. I feel you. I can believe that, Kabuki. I think probably like the Starship Troopers tie-in, you know. I mean, I'll say this for memes. Well, not even necessarily for memes, but that Sardaukar chant in Dune, the Tuvan throat singing, that was badass. Okay. 100,000 infantrymen all standing on a field being baptized in the blood of failed recruits while my dude is up there doing that. That is pretty awesome. That is pretty freaking awesome. That's the one. Wonderful Wizard of Games. That's the one. Hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper. Now, some people have told me, because I haven't seen them yet. I don't know. I will inevitably end up seeing them. I mean, give me my 4-hour Alan Smithy rendition of Lynch's Dune. But someone told me that the Villeneuve Dunes have a good look, but they come across as very soulless and static. And I don't know. I don't know if that's fair or not. I have not seen them. I do know that the initial plan was, after the break, to very much make it into the Chani is the girl boss, and Paul is relegated to, like, she is telling us about him, and he's essentially in flashbacks until like the last act of the film, kind of thing. But they ended up not doing that. Because for me, so I mentioned this before, Hardware Wars is awesome. But I've mentioned this before, that as a kid, when I read The Hobbit, this is the first high fantasy that I got into, was The Hobbit, the animated cartoon film. But when I read The Hobbit, in my head, I heard Houston as Gandalf, Orson Bean, Brother Theodore, all of those voice actors, all Don Messick as Bard the Guardsman, and of course Richard Boone as Smaug. even as a kid reading the more detailed books, that was what I thought of their voices. And then when I started reading the Lord of the Rings, when it was Gandalf, I always like that was it, and it stayed that way even after the Jackson films. So for me, when I picture Dune in my mind's eye, I go to the David Lynch film for like what that would have looked like when I reread Dune. And it's been a number of years since I've read Dune. I have to read it. That's wonderful, Kabuki. That is wonderful. No, that's not fair, Mark. That's not in that. That's not in the cartoon. I do wonder though, this is something, and it's impossible to tell because I think most of the voice actors who voiced characters in the Rankin Bass The Hobbit have passed away now, if not all of them. But I wonder if any of them really got into the source material, because we talked about this on a show. Was it with was it I think it was when Pat Kilbane was on. We talked about how perfect Peter Jackson's casting was in getting Christopher Lee, because Christopher Lee had like read the Lord of the Rings constantly. He was friends with J.R.R. Tolkien. And for crying out loud, friends with J.R.R. Tolkien. And he was such a perfect character to be Saruman for that. So obviously he got the material, and there's a lot of the actors that said like they were reading the book on the set while they were filming the movie to get like story beats and attitudes out of. I just wish they had done a better job. Anyway, so but I wonder about the Hobbit actors and the Rankin Bass. Was it just like, okay, Richard, you're the dragon. You got a gruff voice. You're very angry. Let's go with take one. Okay, I need you to bring it up a little bit. That's right. Topcraft. And making the Rankin Bass Hobbit and Return of the King bankrupted them. It cost them more money to make than they made. And when that company imploded, Miyazaki gathered all the animators together and said, no, we're going to keep doing this. We're going to press ahead. In fact, many of those animators, if you go back pre The Hobbit, you'll find their names popping up in the other Rankin Bass features, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Rudolph and was it Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July, Rudolph's Shiny New Year. Yeah, I seem to have the same recollection. No one. Yeah, I gotta have those on. Like when we're putting up the Christmas tree, I break those discs out. We put on we'll watch just all the great Christmas specials. Rudolph, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown, of course. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Frosty the Snowman. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Am I missing any animated classics there, guys? He says, as we are literally like, are we double digit? No, we're only triple digit months. Only 9 months from Christmas. A Muppet Christmas Carol or the Muppets? Are you talking about Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas? Yeah, Emmett Otter is pretty awesome. There, yes, that is one we have introduced around the Sylvie household. Watching the Mystery Science Theater 3000, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. Oh, No One of Consequence. Absolutely. That is 100% correct. If you didn't see it, if you weren't in the house, if you missed it, that was it. You didn't get to see it again. And around 1980, they stopped showing them. It was so strange. No, that Kabuki, that never happened. That's a meme. People created silly still images and used AI to animate clips. That never happened. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I remember those Kabuki. I remember wanting to see them as a kid, but not being that into them later on. Now, I was going to mention Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown is a weird one. This was such a strange shift. For a long time, the only place to get a copy of that, because like you got into the 80s, and there were studios that tried to make like new classics like Care Bear Christmas and stuff like that, and it was just garbage. It was just not good. So there was a stretch from like the mid 80s to the early 90s when the classics were just not on TV anymore. It wasn't until the 90s that Gen X actors and actresses were hitting their late 20s and early 30s, and we were starting to hit that. They started to say, hey, let's do that again. So I remember How the Grinch Stole Christmas has got Phil Hartman and Whoopi Goldberg doing featurettes on the disc. I'm not making that up. Kabuki's just assuming there probably was Kabuki. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. Dice Tales. I can't. It's like summer isn't even here yet, and we're talking about Christmas. But so the only place you could buy the Charlie Brown holiday specials, it's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, Merry Christmas Charlie Brown, and Happy Thanksgiving Charlie Brown, were at U-Haul stores. You go to U-Haul, I need a trailer, I need a van. And in the office, they attempted to do movie rentals and sales. They had a little spinning rack like for comic books, but it could hold like a video in each one. Does anybody remember that? Or am I just completely bonkers? Am I just completely out of my bean? So yeah, for a long ass time, you couldn't see the holiday specials because they were just like, yeah, okay, 60s and 70s, it's over now. And of course, there was this huge upswelling of popularity in the come in the 90s, and you started getting deluxe DVD sets and everything. And I'm here for all of it, man. Well, you know what? It is there are Orthodox Christian sects that don't do Christmas until March. Fa la 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 la. There we go. The complete 5 seasons of what, Mark? I think that is wonderful. Hey, Uncle Brat, thank you for the super. That was really, 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 really decent of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Wonderful Wizard of Games ask, what are my thoughts on the sudden influx of Japanese TTRPGs getting official English translations? Fantastic. The more the merrier. I wish I had one. Riki Tiki Tavi is beautiful also. That one was Metro Goldwyn Mayer, though, I think. It's basically the same team that did How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And some of the better Tom and Jerry's after those awful ones that Gene Deitch did. Muzzle Paint, hello. Killing those cobras. You had to enjoy that. No, I would love to have a Japanese TTRPG to review. One thing that I'm excited about, this is going to sound like a shameless plug for a friend because it is, but I'm going to show this anyway. I've got pick it up. I meant to have it over here. You guys know, like, I'm on Nerd Cognito. I was on there for like an hour today. So of course the solution is come over here and stream again at a weird hour. I got Greenhaven, and I'm super stoked to read this. It's very thin. It's AD&D booklet sized almost. And I'm looking forward to digging into this thing and doing a review of it on the show. So you guys, if you don't have Greenhaven, it's like $2 on DriveThruRPG. Get a copy of Greenhaven. Is it? Hang on a second. Oh Lord, it's 2:15 in the morning. Do you guys want to go on, or do you want to just call it a night? It's entirely up to y'all. I will do whatever y'all want to do. This is very cute art in here. Mark Morrison's up early. No one says I got the PDF of Greenhaven, haven't read it. It looks good. Yeah, I'm digging it. Yeah, that's going to be neat, Michael. I have seen this illustration in the PDF. So I downloaded the PDF. I loved it at a skim. I haven't really dug into it. Lion Wing Studios have been translating. Okay, very cool. You know what I would love to have? So you guys, you can see this model. I'm not dragging it down. With the Machine and Krieger model, there was actually a Machine and Krieger war game that Hasegawa put out back in the 80s, an SF3D Machine and Krieger war game. I so wish I had it. It pops up every now and again. It's like $175, and it's a chit and hex game. So it's not. Thank you, Dice Tales. Thank you for hanging out with us. Who would I play it with? I have like a nasty PDF copy of it somewhere, like literally somebody doing the old put this flat on the UMAX scanner, but I don't want to squish it down too hard level of scan quality. The cat wants me to go to bed. The Village of Greenhaven, yes. But this is my favorite one. Lakeside Chapel. I hope I don't get in trouble. for reading this. Situated by the tranquil village lake, the lakeside chapel of Greenhaven is a serene and contemplative place of worship. The chapel, dedicated to a local deity of nature, stands as a symbol of spiritual connection and community in the village. The chapel is a modest yet elegant structure, its exterior made of locally quarried stone adorned with intricate carvings and of natural motifs. Leaves, vines, and animals. Stained glass windows depict scenes from the village's history, emphasizing the importance of nature and the divine in the lives of the villagers. Villagers of Greenhaven gather at the Lakeside Chapel for religious ceremonies, weddings, and moments of personal reflection. The interior features a simple altar adorned with wildflowers, while a quiet garden surrounds the chapel, providing a peaceful space for meditation and prayer. Excellent Grimlore. Blessings of the lake. Legend has it that the lake holds special significance to the deity worshipped at the chapel. Pilgrims seeking blessings for health, fertility, or bountiful harvest often come to the chapel to make offerings and receive the blessings of the village cleric. So what are you guys thinking? If you're into Greyhawk, are you thinking that this is Barry or Maris, the Urdian goddess of love and beauty? What do you think? Illicit brothel rumors. I think we're kind of stepping into Maris territory here. Contrary to the tranquil facade, rumors circulate amongst the villagers about an illicit brothel operating in secret beneath the lakeside chapel. It is said that a group of nuns, ostensibly dedicated to the service of the chapel, has clandestinely turned part of the chapel's underground chambers into a place of forbidden pleasure. I don't think Maris would operate secretly, and she wouldn't want her priestesses to operate secretly. I do just like not out in the open, but access through a concealed entrance within the chapel's cellar. The hidden chambers below are rumored to be adorned with luxurious furnishings and dimly lit by candles. Patrons discreetly seek the services of the nuns, who in this clandestine role are said to possess the art of both physical and emotional healing and release. Yeah, no, she wouldn't. Glad the dungeon ministers. Village whispers. Village gossipers and those privy to the secret refer to this forbidden establishment as the Whispering Temptation. The scandalous rumors, while creating an air of mystery around the chapel, also generate a sense of unease amongst the more conservative villagers. What's happening, Patty? It's 3 here, so it's like 7 in the morning where you're at, isn't it? The duality of the chapel. The Lakeside Chapel represents a place of duality. Above ground, a sanctuary for spiritual solace and community, and beneath, a hidden world of desires and secret liaisons. The dichotomy adds a layer of complexity to the village's social fabric, creating tensions between those who seek spiritual purity and those drawn to the hidden allure of temptation. Adventurers passing through Greenhaven may find themselves entangled in the web of secrets surrounding the Lakeside Chapel, caught between the serene facade of the spiritual sanctuary and the illicit activities hidden beneath its depths. The chapel becomes a focal point of intrigue as the village grapples, I bet they do, with the complexities of faith, desire, and the shadows that lurk beneath the surface. So I don't know that is that is something that like I said, I don't think Maris would be like, oh no, we have to hide this in the dark. I would almost be tempted to add that to another goddess. And this is a very heretical take on Barry or Biri. I don't know. That's a YouTube thing, Grimlore. So Todd Sharp asked a question. I'm sorry, I'll let that roll past me. The elevator pitch for Greenhaven, it's not Greyhawk related. It's just, it is a, look down. This is a system agnostic pop-in principles. It is a modular thing, like that temple I just described to you. You just put it in another village. Greenhaven can be kind of chopped up like that. I have mine set in the world of Greyhawk, but you don't have to. There's a bunch of random tables, random name tables for citizens, NPC motivations, moods, random town events, random forest events, forest monsters, random curses. It was very nice in that, and it's got some pretty art. Yeah, I was telling when I was over on oh, there's more of you. I was like, oh good, it's winding down. No, there's more of you logged on, so here I stay. No, I was telling was I talking to Ryan about this earlier? Yeah. I was telling Ryan, mine is like one hex over from Divers, just on the southern shore of the near dive in the world of Greyhawk. That's where I chose to put it. In fact, I can even show you guys if you want to see where I elected to put it. Find a good map of Greyhawk. Let's see. No Insomniacs Unite. Yeah, Kitty wants to DM. When we used to game in person here, and we had like a whole bunch of tables, chairs around the table, sometimes Zeus would come in, and the tables were low enough and the chairs were broad enough that he could like step up and walk around the table to get to people, and he'd schnock in people's ears. 26 of you maniacs. I know I've worn holes in my amygdala. What the hell is y'all's excuse? Oh, let me see here. Find a good one. I don't. Oh, that's the one that's all linked. If I click on it, I don't like that map. Let's see. It's not enough. Maps. Okay, maps coming in here. So over on Scruffy Grognard, if you guys want a good map of Greyhawk, check out the Scruffy Grognard map. Heaven help you, because this is huge. We'll see you around, Patty. All right, well, that's going to take a really long time to load, and I'll show it to you guys. 27. Good Lord. Wonderful World of Wizard Games is doing this while he's raiding in World of Warcraft. Very nice. That's a lot of W's. You've used up all the W's. Are you proud of yourself, little man? Okay, there we go. Well, I said that now. Oh my God. I should have just right-clicked and saved this. Yeah, it's giant. Todd Sharp's in Spain, woke up and I was on completely unexpected. Darlene's work on this map is quite honestly one of the better things ever done for an RPG. All right. Can I get away with this? All right, let's do this on. Okay, so I think I can actually do this in here. Yeah, okay, that's easier for me. And then we can just zoom in. Now I have a good Greyhawk map to use. So, present, share screen, share screen. Okay, so you guys see where Divers is right here, right? Village of Greenhaven is right over here. So if you have a party going from Verbabank to Divers, you can put it in the proximity of, and you don't have to worry about like, well, why is it there? And there's all these dragon attacks. So it's basically, that's where I have it. You might put it you might say, oh no, Greenhaven's going down here in the Welkwood. It's going over here in the Vesive. I'm going to put it over in the Gamboge. I'm going to put it up here near the Rakers and Raddick, down in the Adri Forest, the Grandwood. There's endless options. So where's my mouse pointer? There it is. So there you go. That's that again. That's just where I elected to put it. But your mileage may vary. You may elect to do different things. Oh, that's sweet, Kabuki. Do you got? By the way, if you guys want like the direct link to this map, this is perfectly put back together. Whoever did this, I tip my hat to them. It is such an amazing scan. It is really, really super duper nice. And the zoom down on it is incredible. You can get like right up on it before you start to see like artifacting and stuff like that. Somebody just went bonkers with the scan on this. The 3 best TSR settings are the World of Greyhawk. I'm going to, for crafting, for how they were crafted, not that I would prefer to basically play on a railroad, but for crafting, I will say Dragonlance, and then probably I don't know, probably Forgotten Realms. I'm not a huge fan. Okay, so my initial thought is to go Greyhawk, Dark Sun, Planescape. Here's the thing. I think Dark Sun is awesome. I think Planescape is awesome. I think they're so good they deserve better than Dungeons and Dragons to portray them. But if you said to me, no, you cannot have a situation, then I would say in order Greyhawk, Dark Sun, Planescape. That's not an option. I don't get to say that. I don't get to say they should have a better system. Greyhawk, Dark Sun, Planescape. Saying I think they should have a better system, I will go Greyhawk, Dragonlance, Forgotten Realms. Dragonlance and Forgotten Realms. One is a roller coaster, the other is a guided tour. But I will say that they fit Dungeons and Dragons of whatever edition better. If you couldn't use Greyhawk, Mystara would be your second choice. Hey Mercury, I'm just wearing holes in my frontal lobe. Don't mind me. Yeah, that's I feel the same way, Grimlore. Like there should have been a Planescape, the role-playing game with massive amounts of books and support from a company that actually loved the product. And my problem with Dragonlance is always the same, and it is that you're just playing the books. There was a dude I kept running into over on Dragon's Foot when I used that forum who was absolutely bonkers for Birthright and would not have, he would go into forums that had nothing to do and say, you could always use Birthright for this. But then that's the cancer that kind of killed Dragon's Foot for me anyway. Was the fact that the site owner once once Mark over there passed away, just any semblance of I'm not, it's 20-year-old forum drama. I'm not going to go into it. Yeah, me too. I mean, I was one of the most active posters over there for a long time. And, I was like, okay, cool. Let's have an AD&D, a 1E AD&D forum. And, people would say, how about grappling? Well, second edition does it this way. And I said, would you please fucking stop talking about second edition? There's a whole forum for second edition. And the mods would sit there and I'm not going to do this. Damn it. No, I'm not going to go into that. Sorry. I was on the verge of getting into 20-year-old forum drama that nobody wants to hear about. 27 of you guys there. I'm stopping at the 2-hour mark. At 3 a.m. local, we're done. There are some free stuff there. You can find stuff of mine if you root around. Footprints magazine has one or two things I did. So there's a couple of odds and ends of mine in there. I should check this out. I have this book. Yes, I actually own a Dragonlance book. This just came with a bunch of stuff. Oh, Mercury wants to hear the drama. All right. Well, you asked for it and you paid for it, Mercury. Basically, I wanted at least a somewhat scholarly forum where you could go, and if you wanted to talk just about AD&D in one place, first edition AD&D, you could go there and do that. And when people would shit post and tee macaroni in places, and I'd be like, please stop that, the mods would either get on my ass or on the asses of anyone else who asked them to stop, or they'd not do anything at all. They would just let threads devolve into forced memes. Dragonfoot tried to have their own meme culture and gimmick posters, and they would do nothing to stop the fucking gimmick posters. And the gimmick posters were less employed than I was, Because I looked up one day and the gimmick posters had dozens and dozens of posts, and they were, you know, like the beloved clowns of Dragon's Foot, but who fucking loves clowns? Nobody does. They're creepy and horrible. No. So this is itself kind of a meme. Tee hee hee macaroni is, it's apocryphal. I think it started on the traditional games board on 4chan, but it may be a real story. I don't know, but it fits. It's too weird to not be. But a guy joins a new group, an established group, and he's kind of trying to set up his character backstory and explain, you know, what he's doing in a given situation that starts to unfold seriously. And, you know, so he kind of the dungeon master starts to giggle while the guy's explaining what he's trying to do. And he kind of says, tee hee macaroni, and everybody else at the table sort of picks up this chant. And the DM describes like this cross-eyed, smelling of poop, vagrant looking wizard who kind of wanders through wherever the player character is. He's got a wand of wonder stuck where the sun doesn't shine, and he activates it by touching something that I can't say. And it does something ridiculous to the player character in question. Player character in question is like, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, what is this bullshit you're doing to me? And either they kind of cave in and let themselves get messed with in and out of game by this forced meme that this group has, or they get shouted down by the other players for being a like, you hate fun. Why do you hate fun? This is just fun, and nothing you can do in the game, nothing you can do can stop what the wonderful Wizard of Games just said. It is exactly what the wonderful Wizard of Games just said. And a lot of the forced memes over on Dragon's Foot had that same thing. And if you said, this is stupid, I want to talk about clarification of surprise and initiative, don't tell me about how your mentally ill clown does it. Don't tell me about how second edition does it. Don't tell me about how third edition does it. The tee hee hee macaroni crowd at Dragon's Foot would basically report you to the mods, or the mods themselves would join in the chanting. So that's what that is. That's what that pertains to. It is 3 a.m. and there's 30 of you people watching. What is wrong with all of you? Anyway, I got this Dragonlance book. Are there actual adventure modules in here? No, I think this is just like a world book. Yeah, this is just like a world book. Yeah, magic items, it's history, it's stuff like that. It's like a lore book. I thought it had like some of the modules in it. That may be, Wizard. That may definitely be. Yeah, I thought there were actual adventures in here. Boo! 0 out of 10. Would not buy again. A bad case of sylviitis. I think it was just something that was supposed to be charming and silly, that's annoying and grating, that people came up with in the game. If it's true, if it's absolutely true. Local Gumby's just here for the kitty stream. She's not. Let me see. I guess that's kind of a view of her there. Can I get the table cam? Yeah, no, she's not showing up on table cam at all. What she's doing right there, by the way, she will find my dwarven forge. She will find my dwarven forge and lay down in big rooms. I'll come out here and just be furious because she will have bent or broken miniatures when she lays her lazy butt on them. Michael Mertig says, I enjoy learning about everything, enjoy talking and learning about everything D&D. Yeah, I mean, but at 3 a.m. I'd like to think that if this was like the 1980s, like if I was 50 in the 1980s, we'd all be sitting around in an IHOP, like a 24-hour IHOP, drinking coffee and having like scrambled eggs and hash browns, talking about this stuff. Except I'd be embarrassed if people just like started handing me money. Because good Lord, the super chats tonight, guys. That's awesome. 4 a.m. waffles, hell yeah. I kind of prefer IHOP, goth IHOP. Take me to goth IHOP. Oh, that's very classy, Lexi. Sitting down there, sticking her paw up. You know where her face is going. Oh, thank you, Gumby. So I mentioned this way back at the start of the stream a couple of hours ago. At the GUAC, I am going to do a learn how to play AD&D. Not learn how to run AD&D and not all the nuances, but I will get the basics up and going. We're going to make characters like pencil 4d6, just whoop, down the line. Good morning, disciple of the Logris. It's good to see you. And I hope you're doing all right, man. And I know no, Denny's hasn't gone out of business. Denny's is still around. I'll say this, a Moons Over Miami with a dash of Tabasco sauce and ketchup on it. And there's Denny's all over Florida. Oh, that's cool, Michael. I know we're going to have at least 2 people. I haven't put it up. I'm going to put it up later. I remember we went to Denny's like Christmas night. Because so here, one year, so for many years to get out of, let's go over to my parents' house or let's go over to my wife's parents' house. Because we all live in the same region here in the state. It's still like, I don't want to get up and go across town on Christmas Day. So to get out of doing that, we would host a Christmas Eve party and invite my parents, her parents, just everybody. We got 20 people in the house sometimes. So we did that one year. And clever us, so we wouldn't have the fridge crammed full of leftovers that would just go bad. We sent everybody home with leftovers. And then it occurred to us in our rush to get all of the victuals for Christmas, we completely skipped over grocery shopping. We had nothing in the house to eat. So we went to Denny's. It took us about an hour to get seated. And like the menu was super duper limited. I don't mean they brought out I just mean it's like, well, we'd like this. We don't have any more French fries. Or no, they didn't have any more hash browns. So like I got a Moons Over Miami eventually. That was terrible. But it came with French fries, not with hash browns. And they told me after they brought it out, we don't have any more hash browns. I mean, they were annihilated, but the kids got pancakes. Oh my goodness. So ask me anything, guys. Ask me anything. Is there any bit of Delver trivia in the next few minutes that you want to know? I remember Sambo's. Yeah, Sambo's was nice. The last ones in the last one in I think either Los Angeles or San Diego changed its name. But yeah, there was a little Sambo's in Gadsden, Alabama, and that's where I used to go to for fancy breakfast out. I was like 7 years old. Molly Bednium. Yes, that's a good one also. I'm rather fond of Tungsten. What's my experience with Cyberpunk 2020? Played a lot in the 90s. We did a deep dive on it here on the show and rolled a character. Kmart restaurants. Yo, you're speaking my language. Dad would get the fish almondine. Mom would get a tuna salad. My sister would get a hamburger. I would get a patty melt. Dinner at Kmart. The Kmart restaurant. Yes, sir. You go through the line. I have not played Cult. Icy in a big bag of popcorn. So you can get an icy in Target, which has a restaurant. You can get, but it's not like you can't get burgers and stuff. I think you can. I think they have a hot dog roller, but it's not the same. TG&Y had a restaurant too. They had a cafe in TG&Y. I think they just called it the snack bar. I feel like my sister worked there for a while at the snack bar. Have I got any minis to? I have a fucking ton of minis to paint. It used to be when I sat over here, you could see to the left of me the shelf of shame. It is covered with minis I have to paint. What 3 things would I improve in AD&D? There's a subsection of fixes I would apply to psionics, but the big thing about psionics is I would move it into normal combat. Likewise, I would move unarmed combat into normal combat. So I guess broadly, those 2 fixes would be 1. 2 would be that, and I apologize to anyone that this offends. I would basically just the default is greyhawk. Like if you're not going to roll your own, greyhawk. Does that mean I would delete the others? No. I guess technically by default it is. You know what? Let's just set that aside. So combat fixes. That is my first one. Second, I would probably be a bit more comprehensive about what magic user spells cost to cast. And under absolutely positively no circumstances would I have had the stuff that was in Unearthed Arcana released. Would I have published a book to fix TSR financially? Yes. Would it have had the Barbarian, the Cavalier, Drow as a playable class? No. I would have found something to fill those 3 chunks different than what Gary did. If I was going to create a monster for D&D, what would the design be? I have not read the 2E rules for Psionics Kabuki Kid. However, believe it or not, I have a 2E Player's Handbook and Dungeon Master's Guide. I will read them. What is the best pizza topping? Pepperoni. If I could create a monster for D&D, what would the design be? I would try to come up with an edition of the Solars, Planetars, and Astral Divas. It is absolutely awesome that Gary gives us this incredible raft of devils and demons. But I would try and come up with something as powerful as a demon lord, but as a force for good. Thank you, JN3 Storyteller. My wife and I have listened to about half of the first. She has, but I have never read them, but we have listened to the first half of the first book. And it's narrated by the guy who did Spike on Buffy, Michael Marsden, if I got that right. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a little trite, but it's the guy's first out and people loved it. So obviously he's doing something right, but I've enjoyed it. So let me throw this out there to use guys. Let me throw this out there to you guys. Would you run a Dragon Riders of Pern game using the D&D rules? Would you do that? If you don't know your way around Dragon Riders of Pern, look, I'm not going to spoiler it for you because the book is 50 years old. But basically at the end of the original trilogy of Dragon Riders of Pern, the people in a fantasy setting with fire-breathing flying dragons that can teleport find out that they are an old Earth colony from 400 years before. The book literally ends with them like unearthing a spaceship. So would you do that? Winterwolf would make Angels old school scary. Yeah, sure. I have the Mayfair Dragon Riders of Pern board game. I'm not sure how much of it's left though. I read yeah, I think I read about the same amount, but they set it up at the end of the second trilogy that the massive, like, think Starship Warden size colony ship that brought them over. I'm not going to get into the specifics of the Pern books and how this work, but the dragons teleport the antimatter reactor, which is cold shutdown, and a detonation device to the Red Star, which is actually a rogue planet that causes this acidic rhizome to fall from the red star to Pern, and it will destroy anyone it gets on. Like it is violently digestive. So they're like, well, we'll never get rid of thread, which is what they call the strands of this stuff that enter the atmosphere at supersonic speeds, get incredibly hot, and the remnants that survive fall as this digestive rhizome on your body, and then it starts multiplying, making more of itself out of you. And it's a horrific way to die. Blink dragons, yeah, that's a good explanation. So in the second series of books, once they've discovered the old landing site and rediscovered computers that have been stored there and so on and etc., they very rapidly become a highly technological society, and they figure out, hey, since the Red Star is a rogue planet, we can knock it out of the Pern Ruckbat system and just send it sailing off. And they accomplish that by using the drive section of the colony ship and its massive antimatter reactor to detonate on the surface of Red Star and start pushing it out of orbit, which is a fine way to end the Dragon Riders of Pern series. But of course, McCaffrey kept going back to that well over and over again. And then, okay, now it's not, now there's teleporting dolphins on Pern. They're hyper intelligent. There's a group on Pern that, now that the threat has been eliminated as a threat, we don't need the feudal society anymore. And she just kept revisiting the well over and over again. And I just, like, after the 8th book or so, when I was just like, you know, you could have ended it 2 books ago, and I just kind of dipped out. Yeah, we've tickled 30, and come on, guys, please thumbs up, please likes. Are you doing your part? What's the most batshit sci-fi or fantasy book that I've read that I want to champion, that most people, that is very narrow. Batshit sci-fi or fantasy book I've read. Well, I mean, Gene Wolfe. Anything by Gene Wolfe. See, the thing is, if I come in and I say, well, it's this, somebody's going to pop up and say, no, that's not obscure. I read that 5 times a week. I just go back and reread that book over and over again. That's not obscure, Bill. So I don't know. I mean, for a long time in the 90s, like, nobody I knew read Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson. It's a phenomenal cyberpunk novel, and it was pretty gonzo. It is hyper libertarian cyberpunk, but you guys have probably all read it. Rendezvous with Rama was interesting. I'm running out of steam, though, guys. Seriously. I'll give you like 10 more minutes. Zelazny is always kind of trippy. I really loved, when I was a kid, I really, really loved reading Fred Saberhagen's Berserker books. Pardon me. You're very right, Wonderful Wizard of Games. Appendix N. More people need to read Appendix N. Yeah, the Amber Chronicles are good. God, this is so weird. It's 3:00 in the morning and I have 30 people watching. 31 people watching. Please, guys, please, all kidding aside, if you have not subscribed, if you have not rung the bell icon for notifications, please do that. Please pretty do that. Please do that. And please give the video a thumbs up. And if you're watching this later wondering what the hell I was doing, leave a comment down below and ask me. What are my thoughts on the Warcraft universe? I thought it was funny when you would click on the characters in the Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 games, and they, like the orcs would say, "Stop touching me! Don't poke me!" Which heavy gear faction am I a fan of? I think the South has far cooler looking gears. I mean, I have no complaints about the Eastern Sun Emirates, baby. You know, just let it hang in the wind. Just go all natural. Dying Earth is crazy and depressing. Yes, it is. I think I have an unopened that's very true. Any channel success is dependent on the viewers interacting. Have I played AD&D recently? Yes. I'm pretty sure I played a pickup game between now and Gary Con. Did I ever watch the Voyagers TV show? Probably, maybe. There was one I liked about these people that went through. They accidentally went through a portal out in the desert, and they ended up exploring all these alternate Earths, alternate futures, and pasts and stuff like that. Roddy McDowell was on the show. It was really short lived because, of course, it was late 70s sci-fi, and it kind of sucked. But when I was a kid, I liked it a lot. Yeah, click on the orc zone. I can see my house. And it's just as good for the humans. You click on one. Yes, my lord. Yes. What do you want? Why do you keep touching me? What is the absolute worst official adventure I ever played in? That I actually played in. That's a good question. Official adventure. Wow. I think back in the 90s, a friend of mine tried to run something that he had gotten out of Dragon magazine. But I think it was just his style of running the game. Everything was random, not just your character stats, what you looked like. Like you could pick a basic race for your character, but then I'm going to bed soon. I am. Sorry, my cat's meowing at me. My wife's cat's right there. She is walking around. The Fantastic Journey. Yes, that was it, Kabuki. The Fantastic Journey. All right. I'll finish up with my friends in a second here. No, she doesn't get to come in the bedroom because she freaks out. And like if she wants out, she tears at the carpet. And even if she doesn't want out, she'll get up and walk on shelves and knock things over and walk on us. It's not good to have her in the bedroom with us, but I think she still wants me to go to bed. So yeah, I can't think of any that were like absolute stinkers. Oh, you know what? My buddy Scott, may he rest in peace, had one where it was literally like an open world, but he told me and showed me it was one of the B series. We were like, we're gonna go someplace else. And a giant rock swooped down, picked us up, and flew us like no sit us, our horses, our cart, everything flew us to where the module says, if the players dither, do this. And I thought that was just stupid. Hey, Unicycle Peon, I haven't seen you in forever. So that is the worst module. By the way, I want to mention something before I go to bed, though. Any of you people out there who think that the Watchmen was like, oh, it's the best comic ever, it's a total deconstruction of superheroes, it might get you on a watch list. But I think a far better one, for far better reasons, is Brat Pack by Rick Veitch. I could do that. I could do a tier list. You've been replying to the video from 2 hours ago. Yeah, Brat Pack is hey, YouTube. I've got like $100 in supers, so this stream's paid for itself. Brat Pack was fucked up. I mean, okay, so you know, the whole push in Watchmen is, if superheroes were real, they'd be fascists, man. And like only like a crazy Batman would be like a crazy fascist. And I'm like, or maybe, and hear me out, people could do good, because there have been people in control of things that had power over things in this world's history who have done incredible and good things. The real what the hell is wrong with these people is Brat Pack, because child sidekicks for superheroes. Yikes. Ronin is amazing. Everyone should read Ronin. I love Ronin. I heart Ronin. All right, I think that's it, guys. That's all I got. It's like we're cruising into 3 o'clock here. Listen, though, I do want to say thank you to Mark Morrison, Jeremy Rule, Uncle Brat, Mercury Wells, and Doc Flamingo for the supers. I'm a head out. I love you guys all. Thank you very much for being here. Do you guys want end credits? Do you want to hear Owl Bear? I'll play Owl Bear for you guys if you want to hear it. You're welcome. Okay, no, but Doc Flamingo wants it. Mark Morrison wants it. Okay, good night, guys.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere, in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Make it as a toad all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.